Hey everyone, I'm Ryan. You're watching 60 Cycle Hum, and this is an update on my Strat Reboot project. In the last video, I had this thing stripped down to wood, and I covered it in some very cheap nail polish that I found on Amazon. Green and gold on the top, and then I spent the rest of it on the back, just pouring it around, and it ended up looking like an old lady's blouse or something like that. Old couch. I'm not super fond of the color theme on the back. I think there's a lot of really interesting metallic going on here. I think a lot of these colors are strong by themselves. Even like a more restrained version of this drip kind of finish could be fun, but I really just don't like the way it turned out. It's very lumpy and bumpy too, which is something I was trying to get away from. I'd like to have like a thin finish on this, even if I put, a single layer of clear over this at some point. The front, I'm honestly kind of impressed with how it turned out. I was getting frustrated that I was getting kind of gloopy with the gold paint. But I think if I slowed down and took my time, I could make that work out a lot better. Maybe if I thinned out the paint a bit more. I still wish I had more of that green paint, because the green actually looks really nice under the lights here. I'm interested to see how it sands, because I need to sand all of this flush, if not off, to start over. But I kind of like that green. Clearly it needs to have a base coat underneath it. I went straight over wood because I wanted to experiment with the spirit of the cheapest possible refinishing that you could do. I know how to do finishes better than this, but it was like an experimenting thing. But I think I'm going to strip this down to wood. I'm going to reorder paint for it. I want to do nail polish again. And then I'm going to put down a single like base coat on this of probably like a metallic spray paint. Let's see what I have real quick. Yeah, I think I'm going to use this Rust-Oleum like gold chrome sort of paint here to lay down a base coat for the green to sit on top of. I'm going to try to order a bunch of bottles of just the green and maybe a couple golds and reproduce this burst in a more subtle way on the front and the back. I've got the pickguard here that's going to go into it. Gun Street Wiring Shop wired this up for me. I think it's going to look very handsome if I can get this looking right. The thicker areas on this feel a little bit soft. But like I said, I think if I get it on there pretty thin and smooth, I think it'll be pretty dang attractive. I'm excited about this, especially now, like looking at it on camera. I've been looking at it around the house and being like, I don't know. I had it hanging in the shed setting for 2 weeks now or something like that. But yeah, look at that. So anyways, I'm going to go set up the camera, sit down outside with some sandpaper, and try to get this thing smooth. All right, I'm back. Dustier, and I'm sure pinker. I remember to wear breathing protection. I forgot to put on sun protection. I was out there in the hot sun for probably a good 45 minutes, an hour, something like that. I'm sure I'm a little sun-kissed right now. So anyways, took the vast majority of that paint off. Kind of a splotchy, colorful calico cat kind of pattern on the back. I kind of like how that nail polish rested down into the grain quite a bit. I'll have to get a nice close-up picture of that. It's kind of pretty, kind of metallic the way it shimmers out of the grain a little bit. That could be a trick that people use. I know that some people will rub like a, gold dust or whatever into wood grain to make it pop a bit. I'm sure there's all kinds of tricks out there that I'm not aware of. The top came off pretty clean, but it started out a lot cleaner than the back, so that's not a surprise. Went through a lot of sandpaper. I ended up sanding the edges by hand with this 60 grit stuff. I wish I'd had some 60 grit or even like 100 grit pads for my orbital sander. The best I had was these 220 grit pads. And then I did some fine sanding with 400 grit. But man, I went through a bunch of them. I need to order a wider variety of pads for my orbital sander, that's for sure, because it's easier than hand sanding the flat surfaces. But really what I was going for is to get it mostly flat, to get the bumps of all that paint down. I think I did it pretty good for the most part. It's a little bumpy there. I'll probably touch that up. So next, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to set it up in the shed. I'm going to hit it with a layer of this stuff, and I'm fully expecting this to sink into exposed open grain on the wood. Big open scratches from that sandpaper, to be splotchy over places where there's still nail polish on here. That's not the point, because I'm going to still put nail polish over this. The point is to have a metallic base that's non-absorbent for the most part underneath the next layer of nail polish. So yeah, let's go get the shed set up and get this thing hanging in there and then try to spray it. Fingers crossed. And then after that, I'm probably going to be done with this video until the next time. Check out the links down below for Gun Street Wiring Shop. They very generously supplied this wiring harness. Also, Octave Doctor. I've got the box around here somewhere. They supplied the pickups. So go check those guys out for when this project is complete. I'm a little winded now. Can you tell? All right. Enjoy this time lapse of me taking this out and trying to lay some metallic down on it. And check in next time on Reboot My Strat. Pimp My Strat? I don't know. I'm calling it the Strat Reboot series. Bye, everybody. Stay grounded.